What's going on, guys? We are back to work on Taco Supreme, and we have had an electrical problem on this thing that has been holding me up from using some really important stuff. So right here, normally I have my Switch-Pro controller, but it stopped working. I got the orange blinking light of death, and I'll go over that in just a second. But basically, it rendered everything I have hooked up to it useless. We have A-pillar lights, all of my rock lights, my rear bumper lights, the cargo lights that I put right there. You can see two Bajas, one on each side. The rear bumper lights, like I mentioned already, and my ARB dual compressor. So I went out on a birthday run in April and I had to use someone else's compressor because nothing worked on my truck. So I'm gonna go over what happened and what the fix was. Okay, we got the hood popped and we're gonna go over basically the components here. So this is the Switch-Pro controller that powers the A-pillar lights, rear lights, rock lights, cargo, the air. Oh, and I forgot, I do have a whip powered as well. So this goes inside and I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it in just a sec. But that goes right there. And then you've got the Switch-Pro control module itself, which has the main harness that controls all of your auxiliary components, which I just named off. And then this harness right here goes from the engine bay into the truck. So instead of a traditional relay setup with switches where you have, up to 4 to 6 wires per switch for every auxiliary component, this really simplifies it. You wire everything under the engine bay here, and then this just this little 4-pin connector goes into the truck. So this is really easy to sneak in. I ended up putting a small hole in the boot and going right through the firewall. And this component right here, a lot of people will run their harness, which is, let's see, I tucked it down here somewhere. They'll run this to a bar and they have all those Phillips screws, and then you can control your auxiliary part into there. But I just hardwired it all because the chances of me actually switching something like that is super rare. So if I do, I'll just cut and solder, and I feel like it looks way cleaner without the bus bar there. So that was what I did. I had my friend Angelo, he made me up that mount right there. So it's a custom billet mount, and the Switch-Pro controller or the module just bolts right up. Super easy. This is the live power, but I did disconnect it from the battery for now, so it's not going to shock me or do anything funky. But this is going to mount like that, and you don't want it mounted up because water can collect and it'll corrode the pins. So this is how Switch-Pro wants you to mount it. Okay, let's just go over the components and what exactly failed and what happened. So right here, this light blinked orange 3 times. What that says is there's some sort of failed communication between the power wire harness that goes from here to here. So it's either going to be in the wiring, or it could by chance be this unit, or it's inside of here. Now this is sealed, so unlike a traditional relay setup, which this really simplifies, the only problem is if this goes, you're changing the whole module, which is what happened to me. Instead of, let's say, the A-pillar relay or the A-pillar switch, will just change that one. So there are some pros and cons for each one, but I feel like this is way better, way more modern, and way sleeker as far as mounting goes with the controller. So anyways, I got the orange blinking light of death, and I call it that. I don't know if anyone else does, but no one online really has a fix for it. What Switch-Pros is automatically going to tell you to do is that they want their ground wire, which is this one right here, to be wired directly to your battery, which I did. And they say that if it's not wired directly to the battery, it's going to cause all kinds of issues. So aside from me verifying that it was grounded to the battery, they do have you run some tests when you contact technical assistance. So I did that and I checked some ohms, and then I had to do another test where I checked on the Switch-Pro app and if there was any controller, and it wasn't verifying that this was connected. So when I pushed any of these buttons, nothing happened. Now there is another function of an orange blinking light, whereas these lights right here, they blink orange when something is short-circuiting on the system. So if something is bad in the wiring on my A-pillar, this is going to blink 3 times and my light is not going to work. If it works and there's no issues, when I push this button, this just stays on orange, meaning that it's on and powered. So when you look up orange blinking light, you can get this question or you can get this one. This one is the problematic one. So if you're in warranty, which I believe is 2 years, you're good to go. You're gonna send that in, they're gonna verify and make sure that that is the problem. And since it's sealed, you can't fix anything inside, you're gonna get a whole new unit. Now, my situation was that we are 4 years out, so I'm 2 years past warranty. So I'm out of warranty, and this unit right here was $255. And I'm not super upset about the whole situation because I understand how warranty works, and you know, you got to stick by the dates to make it fair for everyone. I get it, but I'm not happy at the fact that I had to pay $255 for this with not even you know, a slight price break in what, you know, should be, I would consider customer service. You know, I basically paid full retail for that, and at this point I've already paid 1.5 times what the cost is of a Switch-Pro. Now, if I wasn't so heavily invested in the mount and all of the time that I spent to wire this thing, solder everything, heat shrink it all, and make it look beautiful, I could have easily switched to a sPOD, which has a 5-year warranty, and I would have been in the clear if anything had failed. But I just don't want to make that big of a change and go through that big of a headache. So I bit the bullet, I paid the $255, and we're gonna go ahead and install this new unit and hope that we don't have any orange blinking light. So let's go ahead and start with this easy part. We'll just put the unit back on and plug it up, and then we'll do the power and ground after. All right, so that part is done. Now we can go ahead and put the inside controller on before I do the power and ground. You basically just unscrew the shift knob and pop this whole thing out. There's a bunch of clips. So I dremeled this thing super clean quite a while ago. And again, this is one of the reasons why I didn't really want to switch and go over to a different brand or anything, because I already did all this work. So these screws are nylock screws, so it's going to twist that stud into that controller, and then once it bottoms out, it'll start spinning the nut. And hopefully this is the last time I gotta do that. Let's find that wire that I put here. And this one just goes right into the engine bay. Now that orange blinking light of death, you could probably, if it's a communication issue, it could be between this harness and the control module, but I checked the continuity on every wire and there was no issues. And I visually inspected the harness and there's no issues, so I was confident that wasn't the problem. Alright guys, we've got the control module put back in, and we've got the power module put back in, Now all that's left to do is hook up the power and ground and then test and see if we got some lights working again. The last thing I need to do is hook this power up, and we've already got the ground taken care of. So what I did here was I took this off completely and I pulled it out, put this square washer over here, and that'll give me some space for this guy right here. I think I went under. Yeah. And then I used the same nut. So you could do a really fancy setup with a power block and make it look all crazy, but I kind of like I like the way it looks really simple, and I feel like it still gets the job done the way I need it to. So this looks a little bit busy, but once you put the cap back on, it looks pretty stock. So that is a Switch Pro reinstalled on my truck. Now we'll go ahead and turn on the ignition, because this is switched by the ignition, and we'll see if it works. Okay, we're making progress. We got the key turned on and we've got this thing lit up. Let's hit a button and see if we get that orange blinking light or not. Let's check the cargo lights. All right, you see that light in the corner of the bed? Right in the left? All right, that works. We'll go ahead and turn on the rock lights and the rear bumper lights. Rock lights are on. And rear bumper lights. Awesome. We're back in business. All right, guys, we are done. We've got this thing reinstalled, no more blinking light, and it's working as it should. We've got all of the lights working again, which is awesome. And now I could fill up my tires when I air down off-road, and I don't have to bum someone else's air. So my final thoughts with this Switch Pros is I loved it when I bought it. I obviously spent the money to buy it, and I'm not knocking the unit. I still do think it's really cool. I'm just not happy that I'm 1.5 times into the cost 4 years down the line. I think that's pretty crazy, but it is what it is. And like I mentioned before in this video, I already am so deep in with all of the wiring and the mounting and everything that it's not worth it to go to a different brand. Now in the future, should I build this thing out, which I do plan to put a switch panel on, I don't know if I would go with Switch Pro or with sPOD, because they have a 5-year warranty. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, at the end of the day, I still spent the money on this unit, and you know, everything I pick for this truck is top of the line, and I do it with a very strategic plan because I want a certain look. I want the best of the best, and that's what Switch Pros provided, especially with that controller on the inside. I really do like it. So I'm going to link this in the description below for anyone that's interested in it. If you have a problem within 2 years, you can get it fixed for free under warranty. If it does have issues past 2 years, then you'll be in my same boat. But take it for what it is. There are failures on everything. That's why there's warranties for everything. And like I said before, you have to be fair. You have to stick to that warranty date. So I guess I understand where they're coming from. I just wish that there was some sort of price break or even free shipping. I had to freaking pay for shipping to get this thing sent back. But enough with the rambling. This was a short video. I just wanted to go over my experience, and we'll catch you on the next one.